turns out that smoking among teenagers has actually been on the decline lately. And one of the reasons for that decline is the increased usage of electronic cigarettes or e-cigarettes, also known as vaping, also known as electronic vaping. In fact, over the between the years 2011 and 2013, according to the CDC, smoking among high school students fell from 15.8% to 12.7%, while electronic cigarettes had an almost identical increase in usage among that same age demographic. Electronic usage went up from 1.5% to 4.5%. So we all know that kids shouldn't use electronic cigarettes, and in general, they shouldn't smoke at all. I mean, some kids probably should, but those are like rare isolated cases. Um, I just want to ask my panel, is this overall a positive thing?
This is actually
Still a
really
negative?
upsetting. This is actually really upsetting for those poor tobacco execs who have to deal with very less money. I guess it's a step maybe in the right direction. Like, oh, they're not smoking actual cigarettes. But I don't know. It's like giving up, I don't know, sugary drinks but turning to over-exercising or something. You're just trading in one vice for another.
Well, I mean, it does kind of support what a lot of e-cigarette naysayers are saying, that a lot of people will a lot of young people will switch to electronic cigarettes, and maybe that could be a gateway to tobacco because they both contain nicotine. But it's a decline in tobacco use, and gateway arguments from the government have never been true before. I mean, marijuana is supposedly, and as I'm sure you've seen in your personal life, Lucy, everybody that you've seen use marijuana immediately jumped to heroin the next week. So I think it's a
So
positive, but it's still not good.
don't ingest those electronic cigarettes. Don't shoot those in your veins, guys. Like, that's, I guess, the moral of the story. Keep the electronic cigarettes out of your veins. Keep the marijuana cigarettes out of your veins. I don't know. I mean, it's just a matter of which is a little bit less bad. Like the lesser of two evils. I don't know.
I mean, look, the way I see it, and I don't want to beat up this point too much, is that the increase in electronic cigarette use is basically offset by the decrease in smoking tobacco. So if kids are choosing electronic cigarettes, like, you still don't want them to use nicotine, but it seems statistically right now electronic cigarettes are a much safer alternative. So I
It would be
say it's a positive, but it's kind of a downer because kids tend to ruin everything, and I'm sure this will force certain people in power to pass laws against electronic cigarettes, even though I think they're part of the solution when it comes to tobacco and not the problem.
I I'm actually from a really small, like, backwoods town, and I would be interested to see how many of those kids, like, went to, like, chewing tobacco instead of smoking cigarettes, or something that's easier, because, like, smoking cigarettes is hard, especially when you're in school, but you put a little dip in your jaw and you're good for the day. So that would be interesting to see if that increased or decreased with the electronic cigarettes.